right, boys and girls, well, I hope you enjoyed the story that we read earlier. Franklin plays the game, and now we're going to move on into our handwriting. We're still working in our handwriting book. Pages 137, 138 is what we're looking at. You probably have a pretty good stack of handwriting papers left. Now on Friday, we are going to be exchanging out work and getting more work. So I'm excited to send some more things for you, but you might have a few extra handwriting. It seemed like we had several of those, so don't worry if we don't finish all those that you have right now in that handwriting packet. But today, we're going to go ahead and look. What letter do we see there, boys and girls? What letter is that? Yes, you should be saying the letter P. Remember how we took our finger and pretended it was a candle? Puff out the candles on the pink pig cake, party cake. Remember that song that we did, boys and girls? That was fun. And we see P, capital and lowercase. Remember, we make the lowercase p. We are going to go under the handwriting line. So capital P starts at the top, and Mrs. Paris makes capital P all the time. Capital P. But remember the lowercase p, and I'll put some lines on here so you can see top line, dotted line, bottom lines. My lowercase p, and I'll put a capital right next to it. Remember, lowercase p does go down under the line. It can go under the red line. And we want to make sure that p faces the right way, because otherwise, do you remember what number it makes if we don't face it the right way? Yeah, it makes a 9. We don't want to make a 9. We want to make a capital P. And if you look at our picture, we see a pet there. And we're also going to find out the boy's name in our story. But make sure, first and last name like always, top of your paper where there's handwriting lines. And we're going to look at row 1, and there is that capital lower p we just talked about. Oh, there's a great example of how the lowercase p is going to go under the red line. How the capital P touches the top line. Remember, boys and girls, top line, middle, touch the middle of your body, and the bottom, the red line. Tracing and writing. Row 2, we're going to find out the boy's name. It's got a magic E at the end. Remember that? And that turns that vowel long. And I see that they also had this short vowel word, pet. You'll see that on row 2. They took, I'm going to erase that smiley face because they're going to put a magic E. Remember, it takes that long, turns that vowel long, and that's silent, and it goes from pet to, what is that? Pete, long E, pet to Pete, and that's exactly what you see there on row 2. Pete, everybody say hi, Pete. And then that's his pet. Tracing and writing a good. A little more extra practice there on turning those short vowels to long. And then row 3, I'm already noticing, and you probably are too, what's at the end? Do you remember what that's called? A question mark. Very good. And that means they're asking us something. They're asking a question. Let's see what they're asking. Read that with me. Can Pete lift his pet? All right, now if you need to mark them, that's okay, but we want to try to work on these and read them a little faster. Can Pete lift his pet? They're asking us a question. Do you think he can? Look at that picture. I think he can. Pretend you're lifting a pet. Oh, some of you have a pet to lift. I know when I lift up Maggie, she's about 30 pounds. I can lift her up, but oh, I got to use my muscles a little bit. That lift. Hear that F sound in the middle. All right, so again, just like we always do, we're tracing and writing neatly. And on the back, we see a little train there. We see some boys' names here we're going to be reading. On row 1, it's capital J, but it's also beginning of sentence. So it's a boy's name with a capital, but also the beginning of the sentence. John has a red plane. All right. Doesn't look super red in that picture, does it? But it's supposed to be a red plane. There's a color word red, R-E-D. You guys know that. P-L. long A, magic E, plain, and there is John. Now, some of you might know somebody named John, and I think it's interesting is John has two ways you can spell his name. So if you know somebody named John, or like John in the Bible, we sometimes spell it John. And when we have a Bible verse or we look in the Bible, John was spelled like that. But there's another way of spelling John, Jon, on today's paper, and that's fine too. We've talked before about sometimes names can be spelled differently. So if you know somebody named John with a HN, that's fine. Way to spell it. In our paper today, they just spelled it Jon. All right. Has a red plane, and there's that special mark. What is that? Should be saying a period. And then you'll trace and write like we always do. Ed has a fast train. And there's the fast train. And that's Ted's. Again, ST at the end of fast. Ast. Just make the st sound. One sound, ST, and then TR, tra. Two vowels go walking. The first one does the talking. The second one keeps on walking. Train. And both of our sentences today have a period at the end. All right? So make sure you're tracing, writing. I'm loving to see that you're doing your best handwriting. We don't scribble scrabble on handwriting. We want to make sure we're using our spacing, and it looks super neat. I know you guys can do it, and that's what I want to see when I see your papers again, that you're doing your very best on your handwriting. All right, so work on your handwriting, and when you come back, we're going to look at our readers, and we're going to finish reading book 4, because I'm super excited. On Friday, you're going to get another new reader, so we want to make sure we're reading through that. So finish your handwriting, and then come back and have your reader ready to read.